Hi everyone, my name's Paige and today I'm going to be filming a video. I was riding the other day and I was thinking I should probably film a video about this. I was riding and I thought I saw one of the horses I was riding spooked and I was thinking about how I was handling it, and then another horse in the arena spooked and I was thinking about how they were handling it, and I wanted to make a video on how I personally deal with spooky horses. I know this video is probably going to get a lot of criticism, only because I know there's a lot of different ways and not everyone agrees on ways you should handle horses, but this is my opinion on how I handle spooky horses. I understand that I'm not an instructor or anything, but this is what has helped me feel more confident in a spooky situation with a horse, and I just thought I would share it with you. Just remember, I'm not trying to say that I know everything. I know that there are different ways of dealing with spooky horses, and I know I'm not a professional or anything like that, but this is my opinion on how I get over being scared of a spooky horse, even though there's plenty of times when I'm still scared. But this is just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. This is just what I do, and I just want you guys to know I'm not trying to say that I know it all. I just really want to share with you what I do, because I think that it could help a lot of people in the same situation as me. So let's get started. This is probably going to be a really chatty video, I'm sorry about that, but I think this is a topic that I'd like to talk deeply about. Okay, so what I would consider spooky. First off, I think there is a difference between a horse being spooky and a horse being naughty. The majority of horses are genuinely spooked of something. There may be a big flapping orange kite in the sky, I don't know, it could, generally your horse is spooking at something. Other times, which Winston has done before, they are not actually spooking, they're just giving you the impression they're scared of something when really they're just being naughty. And knowing, you need to get to know your horse and know their temperament to figure out whether they're actually spooking or whether they're just being a pain. If they're actually just being a pain, do not take these notes because, sorry, my phone just almost turned off. Do not take these notes with you, because how I personally handle spooking horses, I wouldn't handle the same as a horse who is just pretending to spook. There is a difference. So this is for horses who are actually genuinely scared of something. I just want to talk about Winston for a second. I would consider Winston him a fairly spooky horse. He's not over the top spooky, but he does get spooked quite easily. I would say about 70% of the time he's genuinely scared of something, and about 30% of the time he's pretending to be scared and trying to do something naughty. Just in the very beginning when I first started riding him, I did not know what the difference was. I didn't know whether he was being spooky, whether he was being naughty, but just getting to know the horse you're riding, you end up being able to figure it out. Confidence would go down really quickly on him. I would get scared of him, he bucked me off. The first time I went riding by myself, he had this massive spook and I almost fell off. All my stirrups came out and I was very close to falling off. And I'll actually insert a clip of that here. So I'm going to talk about dealing with spooky horses when you're riding them and when you're off the ground, because I feel like you can be in a very different situation when you are filming that. So ways I deal with spooking when you are on a horse. Now I have written them down in my notes because I know I'm going to forget to say something and I'll be editing this video and I'll think, oh crap Paige, you've got to say that. So I've written down everything that I think are my best pointers when you're on a horse that's spooking. Okay, the first one, do not tense up, you need to relax. My theory is that when a horse spooks and you start tensing up, you are telling them there is something to be afraid of when really there isn't. So that's my number one tip. Do not tense up, you need to relax. And I know from personal experiences that can be so hard to do, because you get really scared that you're gonna fall off, you get scared that your horse is gonna do a runner or something like that. You get very scared and your body's natural thing to do is get tense. You need to consciously tell yourself that you need to relax, because trust me, it helps a lot. This is my second one, and this is really my inspiration for making this video, because I saw someone do this and their horse just got so upset, and my horse had spooked at the same thing and I took it a completely different way. And my horse I was riding, it wasn't Winston by the way, it was another horse, but the horse I was riding slowly, gradually, wasn't aggressive. I wasn't aggressive at him in any way, but eventually he was trotting past that area he was spooking with ease, whereas the other horse was freaking out at it. So this is how I'm gonna say it. This is what I think. When a horse spooks at something, let's say for instance, because this is what happened with me, let's say that in the arena someone is throwing down jump poles and they're setting up a course and they're landing on the arena really loudly, and you can't tell this person to stop because they're an instructor and they're throwing poles onto the ground. First off, I'm going to say, if your horse starts spooking at that, in my mind, that is a natural thing for a horse to spook at. If someone's throwing jumps towards the horses in the arena, jump poles, of course they're going to spook. It's just their natural thing to do. It's something that a horse is allowed to spook at. So, do not force them to go straight up to it. This is what I think. Personally, I believe that if you try and kick and kick and kick and try and get them at it really quickly, as soon as they're spooked at it, you are telling them that that area there is a negative area and they need to go into it. I feel like that's what you're kind of telling them. I come back to it later that you need to force them to go up to it, but right at the beginning, do not head them for it and kick and kick and kick and try and get them to go up to it, because you're giving the impression that over there really is something to be scared about when there's not. So what I do is if they spook, I do not force them to it. I just continue on, and slowly I will kind of like spiral out and gradually get back to that section where he was spooking. I don't go at it straight away because that's telling the horse that I'm riding that there is something to be scared about. Okay, and that was my other point. Work slowly towards it. Don't think, oh my god, this horse is spooked, I have to go up to it straight away. You don't. You can work slowly towards it so that your horse gets he kind of gets to make his own decision, if you know what I'm saying, or he or she, a mare or a gelding or a stallion, if you're ambitious like that. They kind of get to make their own decision, and I feel like when you don't force them into it and you give them a chance to think about it, just stop and think about it, they're going to consider taking themselves over there more if you were to force them to go over and do it. I said this, I was talking, my dad was filming me and I was telling him, because I talk to my dad while he's filming me, and I said, you know, I'm such a vocal rider and you hear no one else in here talking to their horses. And at first, I used to be really embarrassed to do that. You know, I would be in jump night and like I used to do jump nights, I don't really do them anymore. But for no particular reason. I will actually try and enter one soon. But yeah, when I used to do jump nights, my instructor would say to me, if your horse gets too fast, use your voice to slow him down. And I would think, well, there's all these people watching me, as if I'm going to use my voice, I'm going to look like a crazy person. But I came to realize that I would much rather use my voice and have a connection with my horse than fall off and faceplant on the ground. So that's one thing, use your voice to calm them down. You might seem really silly at the time, but usually your voice can be such a powerful tool in the way that you use it. Like when I'm riding, if I want my horse to perk up, I use like a high, quick pitched voice to get him going really quickly. So, but if I want him to slow down, I use a slow and steady voice, and your voice can really be very much of a tool. So that is something I would use when your horse is spooking. I feel like a lot of people, when a horse spooks, they like to calm them down with their reins. I get that that can kind of help in a way, but I feel like your voice can do more than your reins can, because when you start using your reins, you're blocking your horse on where they can go. In the way, it depends on the way that you use them, but this is what I think. I think you should use your voice before you use your reins. Try and calm them down with your voice. If that doesn't work, use your reins for a little bit of assistance, but do not use your reins, your aids, completely to stop them from spooking, because I feel like that the horses, a lot of the time, feel like they're in a blocked position and they can't get out. Particularly when you start using your reins to try and calm them, and you can get really aggressive. You might not know you're getting aggressive, but you do get aggressive when you're scared. Okay, that was be gentle as well. That just comes in everything when when a horse is spooking, just be gentle with them. Remember, the more you get aggressive, they're gonna begin to think, oh my god, there really is something to be scared about. When you're gentle about it, it's not such of a big deal, and they think, oh, maybe that wasn't such a big deal. That's what I reckon they think. Now, this is something else. If you have gradually worked your way towards this area, but your horse still keeps dodging it, slowly, do not go at it straight away, but slowly you need to start applying more pressure. You've given a horse, if you've given the horse enough time to consider what is there, and you've given him enough time to get over the fact that there's something there, and they're still not going near it, you need to be more encouraging with your leg, and you need to be more encouraging with your reins. At first, like I said, use your voice, don't force them at it. But if they are intentionally still dodging it, after you've given them enough time to come to the conclusion that there's nothing to be scared about, you need to start using your legs to get more pressure and get them in that area. So that's, I think, the last resort, trying to actually get them to it if they're not responding with you or not working with you. So that's my last resort that I always take. I used to do this all the time. I probably still do on occasions, but say for instance, if I'm cantering around and I come to a corner and my horse bucks out and spooks at that corner, I will come back to trot. I'll go through that corner and trot, but there is no way, usually, that I will pick up and canter in that same corner. So that's something as well, I think. Don't avoid the problem. Even if you're scared, which you can be I get very scared a lot of the time. Even if you're scared, you still need to go in that same place that you went. Even if your horse isn't scared of that place, they just spooked at something, just randomly, like a kid jumped out from the stairs, I don't know. But if your horse is fine going to that place, but you're not, you need to get strong for your horse so that they're confident that it has nothing to be afraid about. And a lot of people say go towards that section, but you need to go towards that section in the pace you were going at, because that's something as well. You know, a lot of the time I'll tell myself, oh, I went there, I'm fine with it, but I'm not, because if I'm fine with it, I would have cantered like I was doing before, but I didn't canter. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if you got that, but you know. This is the last section. This is really quick. How to deal with spooky horses when they're on the ground. Number one, do not hang off their head with the halter, because I feel like when horses are spooking, they need to look around and reassure themselves that there's nothing to be scared of. If you're hanging off their head, you're telling them that they can't look over there because there's something that they're going to spook at. So do not hang off their head with the halter, because I think that just makes it 10 times worse. Again, use your voice. Don't make a major big deal at forcing them to go to that spot. Again, gradually work up to it. They don't have to go there straight away. They can stop, think about it for a minute and process. There's nothing to be scared about, but if you force it at them straight away, you don't give them a chance to figure it out for themselves. Don't dodge that area, don't avoid it, because as much as your horse might spook at it, don't head for it, but don't avoid it in the way that you're never going to come to it. Or don't start getting aggressive. I see so many people, and I'm not judging their situation or whatever, but I see a lot of people and their horses will spook at something and then they start hitting it and they start getting really, really aggressive. If your horse is being naughty, I understand you want to discipline it. But if your horse is genuinely scared, then I don't think being aggressive is going to help them in any way whatsoever. And it might seem silly, but pat them. Calm them down with your body. Relax. Just try to use your voice and your stance to try and calm them down, if that makes sense. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Just remember, I know I have to express it so much, but because I know someone will comment about it, I am not saying in any way, shape or form that this is how everyone needs to do it, but this is how I do it, and I feel like it works best for me. It might not work best for you, but I kind of feel like within yourself, you find a guideline that helps you deal with things, and this is the ways that I deal with spooky horses. Especially with Winston, because Winston can be very spooky at times, and other times he can just be plain naughty. But I hope this has helped you in some way, shape or form. Let me know if it has. Let me know if you have any situations that you'd like to share with other people that your horses are going through, and this can kind of be like, the comment section can be a bit of a forum, and you guys can kind of give each other tips if your horse is spooking, I guess, in a way. But thank you for watching. Just remember, I'm not a professional. I know I keep saying it, but I'm not a professional, and I'm not in any way trying to say that I am. I'm just saying these are the best ways that work for me. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, that was a very stressful video. Oh my goodness. Very serious topics.